Okay, so we just got done with a couple of very quick experiments. There was the black and white, black or white experiments, and also rectangles and squares. I was really super impressed with all of you and the projects that you turned in. So it's great to see that you're being engaged in the assignments and in your work, and maybe trying to finally getting an opportunity to actually make things and be off of the virtual world for a while. So it's really great to see what you did. So we're about to move on to a new project. It's called Mindscape. And so what we're going to do here is try to build on some of the things that you had been working on in the black or white experiments and the rectangles and squares. So don't forget about those. Keep them foremost in your mind. And it's really good to build from existing things, especially at this time when we don't even really have the opportunity to jump around from one thing to the next. So we're going to go through a little, I'm going to walk you through first, like what this project is about. And then I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a kind of a visualization where you sort of are going to imagine something for a while. So let me first give you a little bit of background about the project itself. So this next one is coming up. It's called Mindscapes, and it has a couple of components. So there's different assignments associated with each of these components. So the first part is the visualization and the concept board. And if you found this video, then you're obviously in the assignment for the visualization and concept board, because that's where it's going to live. And that's what I'm going to walk you through in this video. Next week, then the next class period after that, what will be required is the some sketches. So like from the concept board and visualization, you can imagine like, what is this thing about? What might this be? It's kind of get your creative juices going. And then sketches is sort of like, okay, now I'm going to try it. What does this mean when it's actually on the garment? And then at the end, you'll have a finished look that is done out of this. And you have like 2-3 weeks to be making the work on this. So you'll have some time on the finished look to really develop it. So the other experiments were kind of quick responses, and this is now, well, what if you had a little bit of time to develop those quick responses? So let's see, so the first thing we're gonna work on is this Mindscape part 1, which is first part is here on the video, the visualization, and then the part after that will be concept board and sort of writing about it, and that will happen on your own after this presentation. So what I want you to do is to find a quiet place to sit comfortably and uninterrupted for about 20 minutes. You can have your feet up. I wouldn't lay down because you might fall asleep, but you can have your feet up. You can just sit in a chair, but try to do this at a time or place where there's not anybody else around, or even you could go sit in a park or something like that. But have a place where you can just sit where you're comfortable and nobody's going to bug you. So, and then the other thing I would like you to do is have a pen and paper nearby, so you have it when we're done with this kind of relaxation and visualization. And so once you're all set, you can stop this right now, go get your stuff, make yourself comfortable. And when you're ready, come back, and I want you to close your eyes. And then take 5 deep breaths. Kind of breathe in 1. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Just let yourself be very comfortable. And we're going to try to relax your whole body before we engage our imagination. So just start at the very bottom of your body and Just think about relaxing your toes and your feet. You can wiggle them around a little bit, or just kind of let your breath fill into them so that you feel very relaxed, even from the bottom of your toes. And slowly breathe into your feet. Think about relaxing your legs, into your hips and your torso. Take a deep breath as you breathe into your chest. Relax your hands and your arms. Just keep breathing as you pull your breath up your arms and into your shoulders. You can roll your shoulders a little bit if that helps get the tension out in your neck. Just keep breathing as you feel the relaxation go up your head, all the way to the top of your head, your face, your eyes. Just consciously relax the skin that's kind of stretched over your face. Sort of feel the stress kind of washing over you, or washing away, like water washing the stress away. And take a couple more deep breaths just to relax all the way. And then imagine yourself someplace, in a place where you like to be, place where you want to be. And look around you. Notice the details of what's there, and just feel yourself in what it's like to be in that space. Look around at what's above you, what's in front, and what's behind. What are the colors, the textures, the smells, the objects, the shapes. And look down below you too. What's beneath where you are? How does it feel on your toes or your shoes, or in whatever way your feet are? Try to take in as many details as you can. And then start moving a little. And notice how you're moving. Is it fast or slow? Is it smooth, kind of more in bursts? And as you move, what kind of changes happen? Are there sounds? Are the shapes moving below? Are they farther away or closer up? And then change your speed. If you're moving fast, then move slow. If you are slow, then move fast. Are there any sounds as you move? Does anything change around you? And then when you look, you see there's some kind of cliff or edge or border. And it's safe, so you can go up to it and look. And what details do you see there? What's similar or different from the space we just were? And what's on the other side of that edge or that border, or that cliff? Is that shift from one thing to another something that goes down or goes up? Is it textured or smooth? Is it inviting or is it repelling? Just look at the details of that for a while, how things are on one side, how they are on the other, and what that marking line, how that is different. And then you start to move again. You can either go over the edge or go in a different direction. But watch how things change in front of you as you move. And then you see a structure and you go towards it. And take a look at it. Is it large or small? Is it inviting or uncomfortable? Take in as many details as you can. What's the texture? Is there any pattern? Is it smooth or rough? If you touch it, what does it feel like? And then there's either a door or a window, some kind of opening. Take a look at that. And look at the details. Is it large or small? Is there a frame or a handle? Does the door or window block what you see inside, or does it allow you to see inside? What can you see from the outside? Is there something you know about the inside from where you are on the outside? And then is there a door or handle or something that will allow you to either climb through a window or open the door? And then look at that opening. How do you get in there? Is it easy to undo? Is it difficult? Is there a lock? Is it a slider? And then slowly make your way into the structure. And then look around at the space inside. Is it light or dark? Is it cold or warm? How is it different? Or how is it similar to what's on the other side? Move around through the space. And if you want to, you can touch anything that you find in there. And again, look for objects, textures. What does it feel like? Is it full? Is it empty? Does light come through, or is it dark? And then just sit down there for a minute and take it in. Or I suppose if you don't want to sit down there, you can go back outside and sit outside instead. And just look around at everything. And when you're ready, take a few more deep breaths. Start to wiggle your toes a little bit. And wiggle your legs and fingers. Roll your head around. And slowly open your eyes. And just stop, think for a minute. And get out your pen and your paper. And try to write down as many details as you can from everything you saw. And I'd suggest that you stop the video at this point and do your writing before you go on to the rest of the explanation. There's just another minute or two after this, but turn off your video at this point and come back. Okay, now that you've done your writing, I'd like you then to go back and think about that a little bit and create a list of 8 adjectives that describe the space, any one of the spaces. Maybe it's all of them. Or, if there was one area you really liked more than another, you can focus on that. I would like you to have at least 2 areas. But we looked at a bunch of different spaces, so you can decide which ones you want to focus on. So, but create a list of 8 adjectives to describe the space, the mood, and what it feels like. And then create a list of 8 adjectives that the space is not. For instance, it was dark and cold. It was not bright and comfortable. Or it could be the opposite of that. So come up with like 8. What I'm really looking for is like, what does this feel like? I don't want to say it's metal. I'm going to say it was cold and shiny, or like metal is strong, or something like that. But really like what it feels like, not particularly what it's made of. So then after you have that, I also want you to go back and then think about your experiments in black and white and your rectangle and square garments, and how can they relate to this imagined place? Like, Do any of the textures that you saw, you know, looking over the cliff look like, or your edge look like one of your experiments? Or maybe an edge of your materials that you use could relate to one of the edges. So see if there's ways you can kind of use or mine that information in those experiments that you did, and then kind of guide that towards this next garment. So how can they relate to this imagined space? And then once you start to do that and you have those things in your head, start to gather images, either digital or physical images. So they can be online, they could be magazine cuttings, could be objects. Maybe it's something you see around your house, like you know, a seashell or a bottle or a wooden, a concrete block or something, whatever things you see that are sort of evocative of these parts of your mindscape that you felt most connected to. And then create a concept board. So it's like a collage, and it has to be digital because that's the only way we can share things. But you can actually make the collage out of physical things if you want, and then take a picture and be able to share it digitally. So whatever, you know, you could make it all out of dried beans and spaghetti and arranged on a plate, a square. And if that's what makes sense with your project, you should do that, but you will have to take a picture of it. So whatever way makes a sense for you to sort of, that when we look at this, we have a sense of what it is you're thinking about. What does this place feel like? What are the colors? What are the textures? You know, is it like funky modern, or is it like super like Northwoods pine trees? You know, whichever it is fine. And that's the whole point of doing this, is that you will find something in this that is you, rather than an assignment I'm putting onto you or a concept I'm putting onto you. So whatever that is for you, it can be anything, but you do need to show it in a way that we can all um, that we can relate to it, and we can talk about it, so you know what we know what you're thinking about. And then that's pretty much it. So those are the things you're going to assign, line up and turn in, both for discussion with your group and in one-on-one discussions with me once you get to the sketches that come after that. And that's it. Okay, bye.